While the world is staring at price charts, millions of people are about to use the XRP ledger without even knowing it. Mastercard just stopped testing. They have entered the execution phase. As of February 2026, every time someone swipes a card in this new pilot, Relust is settling that transaction on the XRP ledger in seconds. But there's a darker side to this success story. Ripple isn't just building a stable coin. They are executing a multi-billion-dollar vampire attack on the Ethereum network. They are draining liquidity from the slow and feeding it to the fast. The RSI is at historic lows. The institutions are at the door. I am the calm analyst, and today we decode how Mastercard just turned XRP into the invisible backbone of the American economy. For years, the skeptics said blockchain was just a lab experiment. But on February 3rd, 2026, Mastercard CEO Michael Mayak officially confirmed the shift. The partnership between Ripple, Mastercard, and Swedbank has moved from concept to execution. What does execution phase actually mean for you? It means that as of this week, real credit card transactions are beginning to settle on the XRP ledger using Relust. When a user taps their card at a terminal, Mastercard handles the credit check in milliseconds. But behind the scenes, in the infrastructure where the heavy lifting happens, Relust is settling that payment on the XRPL in seconds. This process is what we call invisible utility. The consumer doesn't see the blockchain. They just see a faster, more reliable payment. But the institutions see the massive cost savings in pointing and settlement times. Mastercard is no longer treating stable coins like a crypto project. In their latest earnings review, they stated that they now view stable coins like Relust as just another currency on the network. Think about that. Mastercard, one of the largest payment networks on the planet, has officially normalized the XRP ledger. They aren't just testing the waters anymore. They are building the bridge. By January 2026, the circulation of Relust surpassed $1.3 billion. This growth isn't coming from retail hodlers. It's coming from institutional demand for settlement. While the crowd is staring at $1 or $2 price targets, Mastercard is integrating the XRP ledger into a global network that handles trillions in annual volume. We are moving from proof of concept to proof of revenue. Are you watching the noise of the bear market? Or are you watching the biggest payment company in the world move its entire backend onto the ledger you hold? Behind the polite boardroom meetings between Ripple and Mastercard, there is a ruthless strategy at play. The community is calling it the multi-billion-dollar vampire attack. On February 3rd, 2026, data showed that the supply of Relust on Ethereum has crossed $1.1 billion. But why would Ripple launch a stable coin on their biggest competitor's network? It's a four-step execution, and we are currently in Step 2. Step 1. Launch Relust on Ethereum to tap into its deep existing liquidity pools. Step 2. Get massive institutions like Mastercard to integrate Relust into their business models. Once Mastercard and these global banks are comfortable using Relust, Ripple reveals the trap. They show them the invoices. On Ethereum, they are paying higher gas fees and waiting minutes for finality. Then Ripple offers the alternative. Move those same Relust transactions to the XRP ledger. Fees drop to a fraction of a cent, speed drops to 3 seconds. And just like that, the liquidity that used to live on Ethereum bleeds into the XRP ledger. Retail investors keep asking, if they use Relust, why do we need XRP? Here is the data the noise forgets. Every single Relust transaction on the XRP ledger requires XRP for network fees. Every new wallet opened by a Mastercard partner requires a reserve of XRP. But more importantly, as Relust scales to handle trillions in card settlements, XRP serves as the underlying liquidity layer. When Mastercard needs to move value between different stable coins or fiat currencies, XRP is the bridge that makes it happen instantly. In the last 24 hours alone, we've seen Ripple burn millions of Relust on Ethereum and mint them natively on the XRP ledger. The migration has begun. Ripple is using Ethereum as a nursery to grow its liquidity. And now that it's mature, they are bringing it home to the XRPPL. Are you worried about Ethereum's dominance? Or are you watching the predator slowly drain its strength to fuel the XRP ledger? The noise in the market is deafening, but the data is whispering a different story. Look at this chart. Analysts are drawing a direct line between the current Bitcoin price action and the historic trajectory of Alphabet Incorporated Google. Just as Google bottomed out at its previous all-time high of $150 before rallying to over $338, Bitcoin is tracing the exact same path. If the $75,000 floor holds, we aren't just looking at a small bounce. We are looking at a move toward $140,000 before this cycle is over. But why does this matter for XRP? While Bitcoin sets the stage, XRP is screaming for a breakout. In February 2026, the RSI on the XRP chart has reached levels we have only seen 5 times in history. Look at the dates: 2014, 2016, 2020, and 2023. Every single time the RSI touched this oversold floor, it was followed by a massive parabolic rally. We are currently at the bottom of that cycle. Retail is fearful. The weak hands have exited. And that is exactly when the institutions like Mastercard step in to buy the utility. Institutions don't buy the green candles. They buy the red RSI while you see a downward trend. The biggest companies in the world see a discounted infrastructure. With Mastercard now in the execution phase, every swipe, every settlement, and every fee is building a floor that the RSI can no longer ignore. The charts tell us the when, but the Mastercard news tells us the why. Are you looking at the fear in the charts? Or are you recognizing the pattern that has made millionaires 5 times before? The world is still calling crypto a funky alternative asset class, but those who are paying attention know the truth. Crypto is an entirely new digital network architecture. What we are witnessing in 2026 is as important to finance as the invention of the printing press was to information in the 15th century. Just as the printing press allowed everyone to access knowledge, this new architecture allows everyone from the biggest bank to the individual investor to access financial services without intermediaries. As we speak, the Clarity Act 2026 is moving through the final stages in Washington. This law isn't just about rules, it's about capital. American banks have been waiting for this clarity to devote the billions of dollars needed to keep pace with innovation. Once this act is signed, the dam will break. Mastercard didn't choose the XRP ledger by mistake. They chose it because it's the only network ready to handle a regulated mass adoption economy. Today, we are on the edge of a transformation that happens once in a century. An unregulated market becoming regulated. An unadopted market becoming the backbone of Mastercard. And your favorite project, XRP, taking center stage as the bridge for it all. The institutions have arrived. The execution phase is live. Are you looking at the noise of today's price, or are you looking at the architecture of the next 100 years? The journey is just getting started. With Mastercard swiping live on the XRPPL and the vampire attack on Ethereum draining liquidity into our ecosystem, the path is clear. Stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. In a market fueled by emotion and noise, we thrive on data and composure. Remember, haste leads to loss while calm analysis leads to victory. Thank you for your trust, and thank you for being part of this rational community. I am the Calm Analyst. Stay patient, stay rational, and as we always do, we don't wait for the future, we plan for it. Stay safe.